Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'm audible to you. Okay, we'll start the session. Before that, let me just revise what we have discussed yesterday. So yesterday we have discussed about the DSCP. So yesterday we discussed about DSCP, how we can configure the DSCP server uh, on either DC machine or member server. Yes. So once we have done that, it will assign the IP address to all our clients using the DORA process. So yesterday we discussed how to configure the DHCP server by creating the scope. Scope means our IP range, depending upon how many machines are there. After that, we discussed how to do the reservation to reserve one particular IP address to a particular machine with the help of the MAC address. And finally, we configure yesterday the failover DHCP server, that is backup DHCP server. So if the main gate failed, the failover will provide the same IP because whatever scope or reservation we have created in the main DHCP server, once we create the failover, same will be replicated from the master to the failover. Same scope, same reservation will be there. That is what we have done yesterday. Yes. So with this, the DHCP is completed. Now we will move to the next topic, that is the DNS. So what is the topic we are going to discuss today? The DNS part 1. So mostly today we will have the theory, and on Monday mostly we will have the practicals. So today we will mostly discussing the theory part, and Monday we will be doing mostly the practicals about the DNS. Okay. So now let's start with the DNS topic. So DHCP and DNS, don't get confused. They are entirely different, you can say, servers. DHCP server will assign the IP address, whereas the DNS is a service which will resolve or convert or map or changes the name into IP. So DNS stands for domain naming system or service, which resolves. So it is a resolution database service which resolves name into IP and IP to name. But mostly we uses name to IP. So where we uses this, whenever we try to access any website by name, we will definitely use the DNS. And also when our network is having many servers, so when we want to access our servers with a name instead of IP, we will use the DNS. Okay. So DNS is the backbone of the internet. So whenever we browse any website by name and try to access the website by name, our request first will go to DNS. So DNS will resolve or convert or changes or map name into IP so that we don't have to remember the IP. So this is the usage of the DNS. So DNS is a database service which resolves name into IP. It can do a IP to a name also, but mostly we use the name to IP, which is used to access the website by name or which is used to access the servers by name. Okay, so DNS is used. So DNS is actually a service. So what is the use of this service? So DNS is a resolution service which resolves name into IP or IP to the name. So DNS is a resolution which resolves name into IP, IP to the name. So DNS is a database resolution service. Resolution service which will be used to access the website. So now without DNS, can I access the website? I repeat my question. There is no DNS. Now I'm trying to access the website. Can I access the website, any website without DNS? Yes or no? You tell me. Can we access the website without DNS? So I got one answer from Kapil. No. Everybody thinks so. Okay, Pranav is also saying same thing. So your answer is wrong. Your answer is wrong. So please remember, without DNS also we can access the website. How we can access the website without DNS? How we can access the website without DNS? By using the IP address. So remember, I repeat this, without DNS also we can access the website by using the IP. So we can access the website by using the IP address without DNS. Then why we should discuss the DNS? And that too, we are going to discuss this DNS for 2 days, today and Monday. So for 2 days, we will be discussing the DNS. So without DNS also, we can access the website by using the IP address. Then why we should discuss this? So the answer or the reply for that is, you have to remember your mobile for the answer. So generally, so generally, whichever number, whichever number is important to you, everybody is using the mobile, yes? So whichever number is important to you, generally what you will do to that number using your mobile. We'll come to the topic after this example so that you will clearly understand why we are discussing the DNS. So suppose one person particular number is important. Phone number I'm saying. One person particular phone number is important to you. What you will do to that number in your mobile? What you will do to that number? Yes, I'm waiting for your reply. Yes, you will save that number with what? You will save that number with what? Yes, Kapil. With name, yes. So you are saving the, yes, you are saving the particular number or whichever number is important to you, you will save it with some name, yes. So why you are saving the name? Once you know that answer, our today's topic importance you will understand. That's why I ask you this question. So why you are saving this number with its name? Why you are saving? Tell me. Yes, you are saving the number with a name, but why? Why you are saying with a name only? Abdul, Muhammad Abdul. That is my question. Why you are saving by name? Why? Yes, Aishwarya is right. Accurate answer. That is what I was. That is what the answer I was expecting from you, and finally I got the answer. Yes. So you don't have the number. No, no, Kapil. What is this answer? So without having the number, how you will save it? Suppose you want to call to your friend. So what you will do, you will just dial his name. Will it work? Don't say sorry, I'm just asking. Because my job is when you have some doubt, I should clarify. No, don't say sorry. Just I'm trying to use. Suppose you know one friend. He has not given you his number. Just to save his number and dial to him. Will the call get connected? No, then so first we should have his SIM number, yes. So once you know his number, then you save it with the name, whatever name you want to use it. Why we are saving the number, phone number with the name? Because as Aishwarya said, it is easy to remember the name instead of IP. Isn't it? Everybody agreed or not? So why we are saving the number with some name? Because it is easier to remember the name instead of IP address. Yes, that is the answer. Now, 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 suppose you have saved somebody number with some name. You have saved somebody phone number with some name. Now you are calling to that person by name. That call will get connected to that person by the name which you have saved or the call will get connected with the SIM number of that person. I repeat, you have saved somebody number with some name. Now you are dialing to that person. So the call between you and that person will get connected through the name which you have saved, or the call will get connected through the person's SIM number. Yes, you are right. Kapil, Vinay, everybody, yes, right. Yes. So call, suppose you have saved somebody number with some name. You are calling to that person. Can the call get connected with the name? It will never get connected. So the call get connected only with the SIM number, because one number might be saved by different people with a different name depending upon the relationship. Your name also might be saved by different people with a different name, with a different name depending upon the relationship. Yes. So I know that, especially in India, still we have some respect to our friends, sorry, respect to our parents. So I have seen many people just to have a respect to their parents. They will never save their friend's number with original name. There is some write some dummy name, especially youngsters. I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say. So yes, especially the youngsters will never write correct name in their mobile. They'll write some dummy names. So when they call it, the call get connected to that same person. So the call never get connected with the name, because one number might be saved by different people with different names. So the call never get connected with the name. Name is only for our sake to remember easily. Another example, suppose in India, our parents' numbers we will never save with their name. Yes, I don't know about outside, but at least in India, our parents' number we will never save with their name. We will save with whatever we call. So that same our parents' number might be saved by our parents' friends or our relative with different name. So one number might be saved by different people with a different name, depending upon the relationship. Okay. So you might have seen some funny names will be there on the people, especially the married people will write home minister number. So people will understand home minister means whose call is coming. So the call never get connected with the person name. The call get connected only with the same number. Okay. So, so same way, so same way, when you try to access any website by name, it never get connected. So how we can access the website without DNS means by using the IP. Then I said why we should discuss the DNS, because it is easy to remember the name instead of IP address. But when you try to access the website by name, it never get connected. Like when you just without SIM number, you just save somebody number and call to him, the call never get connected. It is only for our convenience. We are saving some number with some name. The call definitely get connected only with the number, never with the name. Same way, every website, whatever you are accessing. So whoever hosting the website, that will be our next topic, IIS. So suppose you are hosting your individual website or company website. You have to first register your unique name of your website with the unique public IP. Every website will be registered. Like every phone number you saved will be saved with some SIM number. Yes, the call get connected with the SIM number, never with the name. So same way, every website, whichever is whoever is hosting, they need to purchase one public IP. That IP cannot be unique IP. So there will be that name will be registered with the IP. Like we will save the name in our phone, we'll save the SIM number with some name. Same way, exactly in the website, a website name will be saved with some IP, where it will be saved in the internet on the DNS server, so that browsing becomes easier. So now let us continue with that same example. Suppose in your mobile, there are about like 400 to 500 numbers. Normally people will have that many numbers. It may be more or less. Roughly, I'm saying average 500 number is there in your mobile. Can you recollect all the 500 number? Can you recollect all your 500 number? You can able to recollect number, SIM number. Okay, Shashank, unmute your mic and tell me. At least 100 numbers you tell me. Don't tell dummy number 9292 like that. Real numbers you tell me. Can you remember all the, if you are able to remember, you are a genius. Uh, then you said first yes sir means I thought you remembered all the numbers which you have saved. Okay, as per I know, uh, okay, okay. So, okay, no problem. So, agreed, we all don't remember all the numbers which we have saved. So, it might be in hundreds only, 500, 700, 800. So, can we able to recollect all those numbers? No, but we can able to remember the name. Or if we forget also, we'll search easily by name. But when you call it, the call get connected only to SIM number, never with the name. So same way, how many websites are there all over the world? Roughly, I'll give the hint. They are in hundreds, or in thousands, or in millions. Because in English system, they don't use the lakhs. They use, I think, millions, 100 million, 1,000 million, like the 10,000 million. That becomes a billion, something like that. So, yes. So you tell me, how many websites are there all over the world? Roughly, they are in hundreds, or in thousands, or in millions. Yes, it is in millions. So now, how many numbers we have in our mobile? It will be in hundreds. So we cannot remember. So can you expect to remember that many IPs without without knowing the name of the website? You can, or without DNS also you can access the website. But for that you have to know the IP, and you have to remember the IP. So can you remember these millions of IPs? No one can remember. It is not possible humanly. So, so the internet service provider, ISP, what they have done, they have configured for these millions of website, thousands of DNS server. In one DNS, we cannot write. So in thousands of DNS server, they have made the setup and written all the website entry. So every website name will be unique, and every website will be registered with one unique public IP address, so that anybody can access any website from anywhere using the internet. So which makes the browsing easier. So this is about the public network. Whereas if you are working in a company where there are many servers are there, your company is big company and many servers are there. So you will be not accessing the server directly. The servers will be in some cool AC room. You will be sitting on normal floor, or you might having separate cabin. So you'll be, by sitting that you'll be accessing the server. So if it is few servers, you can remember their IP, you can take the remote desktop. But if there are many servers in your company, can you able to remember those IPs to take the remote desktop? No. Then in that case, what you have to do? In that case, what you have to do? You have to configure a DNS server. In that, how to configure, we'll see. In that, you have to write the IP address of that. Without IP, you cannot work. Every machine has to work, has to have IP if it has to work in the network. So every machine, every server will have some IP. So we have to give some dummy or some simple name to every machine, and give the entry of that machine simple name with their public, with their IP. In the DNS server we have to maintain. So for our private network, how many DNS server we need to maintain? Only one is enough. So in the one day, you can take one machine and configure that as a DNS server. So you have to write for every website, for every server, their IP address with their name. We can assign some simple name to their machine with their IP. So now we don't have to, once you have written the name of your servers with their IP in the DNS server, over, then every day you can access those servers by name instead of IP. You don't have to remember the IP, just by name you can access. So for that, you need to configure or maintain the DNS. If you want to access anything by name, you have to configure what? DNS. If you want to access with IP, no need of DNS. But IP is not easy to remember. If it one or two, you can remember, but if there are many, you cannot remember. So for that purpose, we have to maintain the DNS service. So in the DNS service, we need to write the website name or system name with the IP so that we don't have to remember the IP. So DNS will remember the IP for us. So browsing and accessing the servers becomes easier or simple with the DNS server. So this is what we are going to discuss in today's session. So this is what we are going to discuss in today's session. My voice is okay. Otherwise, clear. Yes, can you confirm me? My voice is okay. I'm waiting for your reply. Is it my voice is okay? Okay, then can I continue? Can I continue? Okay. So this is what we are going to discuss today, how to configure the DNS server through which accessing the website or accessing our servers becomes easier because we can remember the name easily compared to the IP. So this is what we are going to discuss in today's session. So I hope you understood the importance of today's topic. So DNS stands for domain naming system or service. So what the DNS will do? What the DNS will do? DNS is a resolution service. It will resolve the name into IP and it can work the other way also, IP to name. But mostly we use name to IP. So DNS, which stands for domain naming system or service, it is a resolution service which resolves name into IP and IP to name. So mostly we resolve name into IP. So when it is a yes, resolves the name into IP to the name. So in the DNS server, dot plays important role in separating the different level of the namespace. Okay, so in DNS server, dot plays important role in separating the different level of the namespace. So dot separate the different level of the namespace. How it will separate the different level of the namespace, we'll see with example. Suppose you write some name here. So is there any extension is there in the name? Any extension is there? it is not there. So a name without any extension is called net BIOS name. Net BIOS name means a name without extension. A name without extension is called as net BIOS name. Example this. Example I have written a name. So name without extension is called as net BIOS name. If I write the same name, then it is called a name with some extension. Then that name is called domain name. You can call domain name, or it can be also called DNS name. So domain name or DNS name. So that is nothing but name with extension. So a name without extension is called NetBIOS name. A name with extension is called as domain name or DNS name. But all the website in the world will be having which type of name? If you see the complete name of the full name of the website, it contains how many dots? Yes. Just think over of any website name and tell me the full name of the website contain how many dots? Okay, name with extension is called domain name or DNS name. Name without extension is called NetBIOS name. But all the website in the world contain how many dots? The full name of the website contain how many dots? Pranav has written the answer. What about others? Okay. Yes, any website if you see contain minimum 2 dots. Very nice, Aishwarya. So I said full name of any website. So the persons who said 1 dot, please remember, you tell me the website name which contains single dot, full name. I said full name. Full name will be www dot any domain name dot com dot co dot in dot edu. So this is your name. So the here here it is this in this name. How many dots are there? 2 dots. So it is constant worldwide in any website. Minimum every website minimum contain how many dots? Minimum 2 dots. Okay, so here 2 dots are there. So what you will call this name now? So before the first dot, whatever before the first dot, whatever name is there, that name is called host name or system name. Host name or system name. Then just now we have discussed a name with extension is called domain name or DNS name. So domain name plus domain name, domain name plus domain name plus host name or system name plus domain name. Together it's called fully qualified, fully qualified domain, fully qualified domain name. In short, you can say this as a, in short, you can say this as a FQDN, fully qualified domain name. So here dot is separating the different level of the namespace. So every website in the world contain minimum how many dots? 2 dots. You can have more than 2 dots, but minimum answer. So what happens when we write our fully qualified domain name in the URL of the browser and press enter? After the fully qualified domain name, one dot will be added. And dot will, so this will not appear. Just for a fraction of second, it will appear and disappear. So you have to see with a lot of concentration and attention. Then you may able to see it. At the end of the fully qualified name, that dot will appear. Once you give the name and press enter. Suppose I have given like this, www.google.com. So it is in which format? It is in fully qualified domain format. So once I give the name and press entered, what happens? You will get the this name, fully qualified domain name with a dot, with a dot. Okay. So now what happens? This name will be changed into DNS name, a fully qualified domain name ending with a dot. It's called it's called DNS namespace. DNS namespace. So now here one dot will be added. Once you press enter, we don't have to write. So this, the resolution will take place from right to left, not from left to right. So here this dot is called root server. So this dot is called root server, root domain servers. So root domain server. So it is a DNS server. So how many root servers are there all over the world, which is configured by the ISP? So all over the world, how many setups are there of the root server? 13, 13, all over the world. So each root server, each root server contain what? So here first the request will go to the root server. How many root servers are there all over the world? 13. One of them now in India, in Chennai. So root server contain the information of top level domain. So root contain the information of top level domain. So here, root server contain the information of top level domain server like .com, .org, .edu. Now here, this top level domain server contain the information about second level domain server. And the second level domain contain the information about sub level domain. So the next one is called sub level domain. So whatever I have written, it's there in the slide, but I just written it to make you understand in simple and easy way. Okay. So now we can see this diagram here. So for our private server, this is our local area network. So local area network means our private network. LAN. LAN means local area network, or you can say our private network. So in the private network, how many DNS server we need to maintain? Only one. So this is the machine you want to access as a client by name. So you have to configure the name resolution service. This is nothing but DNS, domain naming system or service. So it is a resolution service. So first, as the administrator, when you configure the DNS server, you have to give the entry of this machine name. You have to give the entry of the machine name with the so here we have to give the entry of this machine. This machine we have to access. So this machine name with the IP address. So writing the entry of the system name with the IP address in the DNS server is called okay. So now we have to give the entry of the system name with the IP. Then when the user try to access this machine by name, first the request will go to the DNS. So how it will know it has to go there? Because in this machine, we will have IP address. Along with the IP address, we'll have preferred DNS IP. So now we have given the entry of the name with the IP. So when this user, in this user preferred DNS, this DNS server IP, preferred DNS means DNS server IP. So using this DNS server IP, with the help of the preferred DNS, it reaches to the DNS. So there it will check this name is registered or not. If it is not registered, you cannot access. If it is registered, it will convert. It will see that the name is registered with what IP. So it will convert that name into IP. So now these machines, without knowing it, it went to the DNS. DNS has resolved or changes the name into IP. It has given the IP. Now using this IP, it will get connected to this system without knowing the Okay. So this is about your private network. So we have to configure here the DNS server for our private network. This is for our local area network, which you can call as a private network also. So in our private network, we can have one DNS server. If you want to access the machines or servers with name. So here, this is your DNS server. So here we have to first write the entry of the machine name with the IP address. So when this user try to access this machine by name, so first the request will go to the DNS server with the help of preferred DNS IP. So in this machine, IP will be there, preferred DNS IP will be there. Okay, understood. So when this user try to access this machine by name with the help of this preferred DNS IP and default gateway means router IP address. It will reaches to the DNS server. In DNS server, it will check this name is registered. If it is not registered, you will get an error 444. If it is registered, it will convert or resolve or changes that name into IP. So with the help of that, you can able to access the okay. So I hope you understood this. Are you following? Yes. So once this entry is there, automatically it cannot be accessing. So you have to as the administrator you configure the DNS server where you have to register your system name with the system IP. So with the help of this preferred DNS, this client, in every client, preferred DNS IP will be there. Preferred DNS IP is nothing but DNS server IP. And with the help of the gateway, default gateway IP means router IP address. It will reach us to the DNS with the help of preferred DNS. In DNS, it will check. So if the name is registered, what is the IP? So it will resolve that name into IP. With the help of this IP, it will get connected. Okay. So this is for our private network. Now, over the internet, public network, there are millions of websites. So can we have all the entries of the website in one machine? So here you can see here. So actually, our original system name will be something, but always all the website name we will start with what? www. Why? So for security reason, our original system name, this is our host name means system name, will be hidden by using the alias name. So this is your alias name. So there are two important advantages of using the alias name. First of all, a common name, which will be easy to remember. And second, important advantage, our system name will not be known. So all the people may not be bad, but some people will be there as a hackers. So if they know our system name, they try to enter into our network. So that's why to the public user, our system name should never be uh, visible or available to see them. So we'll hide our original system name by using the alias name. So alias name will be always www.microsoft.com. So once you press enter by giving the URL, one dot will be ending. By default, it will appear for a fraction of a second, not 1 second, then disappear. So it takes long, but will, as I told you. So first, it will go to the root server. Here this dot represent root server. So just now I said how many root servers we have all over the world? 13. One of them now in India in Chennai. Now this is called root server. So root server contain the information about root server contain the information about top level domain. So this is called top level domain. .org, .edu, .com, .au. So these are called top level domain. Okay, so first it will go to the root server. Root server contain the information of top level domain server. So top level domain server, they are in not 13. Root servers are 13. Sorry, by mistake I have written here. So root. So these are all DNS server, root server, top level domain server. Then you have what? Second level domain. Now these are called, so root server contain the information of top level domain. Top level contain the information about second level or middle level domain. Second level domain or middle level domain. So this is your second level domain. And the last one is what? Sub level domain. So root contains the information of top level contains the information of second level. So here there will be not one server, hundreds of servers in each setup because there are millions of websites. So up to this, have you understood? Up to this, have you understood everyone? Yes, up to this, have you understood everyone? Okay, so shall we have a break here? After the break, we'll continue. Shall we have a break? Okay, so we'll have a break. After the break, we'll continue. So I'm keeping my mic in mute position. Yes, sir. Shall we continue now? Yes, sir. Shall we continue? Shall we continue? Okay. So now you see here in the real time, when we browse any website, first we have to take the internet from some service provider. So they will give us some preferred DNS and default gateway. So with the help of this preferred DNS, now what happens when the user or when we browse any website? So we will be not knowing the actual name of the host name. So here it will be something like this, www, instead of the name of the machine. So first it reaches to from our machine, it reaches to the local ISP service provider. So this is the local ISP service provider DNS server from whom we have purchased the internet. Example, like in India, we have Beam, Reliance, Airtel. So I'm taking the internet from Beam, suppose. So from them, they will maintain one DNS server. So whenever I browse any website, my request first will go to this. It will go to the local ISP DNS server from whom I purchase the internet. So they know the IP address of all the website. They don't know. So first it will check in its cache memory. Before me, any other user has browsed the same website. If it is no, what it will do, it will ask itself whether I know the IP address of this. No, I don't know. So what it will do, it will forward the request to the ISP DNS server. First, it will forward the request to root. So we have purchased the internet from the local ISP service provider. So they will purchase the public IP in bulk or large quantity from the ISP. So ISP will give them the root server IP. So once our request reaches to the local ISP DNS server, so with the help of the root local ISP DNS server, our request will be reached to the one out of the 13 root server where the request is less and where the distance is less. Based on that, it will go to one of the nearest root server. Like for India, it will go to the Chennai. So the root server will now don't know the IP address of, it will not maintain the IP address of the website. It contains the information of top level domain. So here it will check the user is looking for which top level domain. So the top level domains like .co, .in, .edu, .org. Here the user is looking for which top level domain .com. So the root server will give the IP address of the top level domain to local ISP DNS server, not to the client. So now the local ISP DNS server, after getting the IP address of the top level domain, here this is your dot. Root server means here dot. Dot means root server. The root server will give the IP address of the top level domain. Here the top level domain in our example is .com. So this is called TLD, top level domain. Now it will check in its cache memory, then it will give the IP address of the second level domain where all the website is starting with the micro name is there. So it will give the IP address of the second level domain. Now here it will check, this name is registered or not in Microsoft. If it is registered, it will check what is the IP. Yes, it's saying authority. Yes, I know this. So it will give the IP address of the this particular name. To whom it will give to the local ISP server. So now the local ISP DNS server provider with the help of the ISP DNS server. These are the ISP DNS server. This is called second level domain. This is second level domain. So now it will give the IP address to the local ISP service. Now the local ISP service provider will provide the IP address of the Microsoft website. So somewhere here Microsoft website will be there. So using this public IP, it will access that. So now you'll get the home page. So next day, next time when you browse same website, will it repeat the same process? No. Our recently browsed website entry will be there in the cache memory. So from the cache memory, it will take it. Okay. So this is overall what happens when we browse the website over the internet. So it will happen in the background. You cannot see this, but this is the overall thing happen. So next time when we browse same website, it will not go through this. In our cache memory, recently browsed uh, website IP will be there. So directly it reaches. So that's why second time you may get the website little bit faster. So the gap of many seconds won't be maybe just a fraction of second or 1 second maximum difference. So these DNS servers, these are all DNS server. This is your DNS server. These are all your DNS servers. So all these DNS servers are being categorized into two types. These all DNS servers are categorized into two types, authoritative and non-authoritative. So we'll try to understand what is meant by authoritative and what is meant by non-authoritative. So authoritative DNS server means if it is knows the IP address, it will, if it is knows the IP of that website, it will provide it. It will return the request with IP. If it is does not know, it will say, I don't know about it. So that type of DNS server is called authoritative. So the authoritative DNS servers are those, if it is knows the IP, it will give the, if it is knows the IP, it will give the IP address. If it is does not know, it will say, I don't know about it. So that type of DNS server is called authoritative DNS server. Non-authoritative means if it is does not know the IP, still it will try to resolve the client IP by forwarding it to the other DNS server till it able to resolve the client request by forwarding to the other DNS server. That is called non-authoritative DNS server. So non-authoritative DNS server will not have the IP. It will not know the IP address by itself. So what it will do, it will try to resolve the client or user request by forwarding it to the other DNS server to resolve it. So that type of DNS server is called non-authoritative DNS server. So authoritative means if it is knows, it says I know and it will give the IP. If it does not know, it simply said I don't know. But non-authoritative means it will not know the IP, but still it will try to resolve the client request by forwarding to the other DNS server and resolves the request with the help of the other DNS server. So that type of DNS server is called non-authoritative. Okay. So in this diagram now, so these are all authoritative. These are all authoritative DNS server, and this alone is a non-authoritative. So this one is a non-authoritative because it does not know, but it is resolve the request by forwarding to other. So this is your non-authoritative. This is what you have to remember. Non-authoritative. This is non-authoritative. This is authoritative. Okay. Now in every DNS server, like here, what we have discussed, the DNS server contain domain name, but website contain fully qualified domain name. Fully qualified domain name means it contain minimum 2 dots. You can have more than 2 dots, but minimum 2 dots. So here the name is sys1.ms.com. So here sys1 is the host name. ms.com is the domain name. System name plus domain name, it's called fully qualified domain name. Already we have discussed this. Yes, host name plus domain name called as fully qualified domain name. Now you see here in every DNS server. So what the DNS will do, it will resolve the name into IP. So to resolve this name into IP, every DNS server consists of lookup zones. So how many lookup zones we need to create? Two lookup zones. Power lookup zone, which will convert the name into IP. Power lookup zone will convert name to IP. So how many types of lookup zones we need to create in the DNS server? Two. We need to create two types of lookup zones in DNS server. So they are power lookup, which will convert or resolve name into IP, and reverse lookup, which will convert IP into name. So maximum we use is what? Power lookup, which will convert the name into IP. But if you know the IP, you want to know the name, you can do it. That is with the help of the reverse lookup zone. So forward lookup zone will convert or resolve name into IP, whereas reverse lookup zone will resolve IP to name. Okay, so now this resolution in the DNS server will be done with the help of the records. So DNS server contain lookup zones. Inside the lookup zones, we need to create the records. So zones contain records. So the resolution, the forward lookup zone, what it will do? Forward lookup zone will resolve name into IP with the help of the lookup records. So in the forward lookup zones, we have what? Records. So forward lookup zone will resolve name into IP with the help of the record. Same way, reverse lookup zone. Same way, reverse lookup zone. What the reverse lookup zone will do? It will also resolve IP to name. So this is also done with the help of the records. So forward lookup zone and reverse lookup zone, their working depends on record. Okay, so now we have to discuss about the records. Now we have to discuss about the records. So here, some of the records are created by default, and some of the records as an admin we have to create. So what are the records created default and what we have to create as admin, we'll discuss. Next, types of records. So we have a record with the name SOA. SOA full form. SOA full form. Start of authority. Start of authority. SOA full form, start of authority. So this is the first record in any zone. So this record maintain the zone information. This record maintain zone time information. So mostly it maintain the zone. It maintain the time, zone time information. Next record. Next record, NS record. NS stands for name server. So name server identify the DNS server name for each zone. It identify the DNS server name. It identify the DNS server name for each zone. So these two records, so these two records are these two records are created by default. These two records are created by default in both forward lookup zone and reverse lookup zone. So these two records we don't have to create. It will be created by default. Now the third record is host record. Host record is also called as address record. Host record is also called as address record, and the symbol for this is A. A. It is called as host record or address record. So this is the most important record in the forward lookup zone. This is the most important record in the forward lookup zone. Why? What is the role of the forward lookup zone? Converting or resolving or mapping name into IP. So who will do this work? Host record or address record will do this work. So this is the most important record in forward lookup zone. So the work of the forward lookup zone is done by the work of the forward lookup zone is done by the host record or address record. Whereas the alias record is also called as CNAME. So alias record is a CNAME. It resolves the alias name. Or you can say alias record is used to hide the original system name. It is used to hide the original system name by using the alias name www. So these two records, host record and alias record. So these two records has to be created by admin in power lookup zone. It has to be created by the administrator in power lookup zone. Now there are some more records like the pointer record. Sorry, this should be fifth record. So pointer shortcut or short form PTR. So this is the most important record in reverse lookup zone. So what is the work of the reverse lookup zone? Resolving IP to name. So who will do this work? Host record. So this record has to be created by administrator, by admin in reverse lookup zone. And then MX record, which is called MX record, it used to be created. It is used for mail server. So it has to be created by admin in forward lookup zone. When we used, this has to be created when we used our own private, when we used private mail server. If you are not using your private mail server, there is no need of this record. If you are using your private mail server, then this record has to be created. If you are not using the mail server, no need of this MX record. If you are using your private mail server, then you have to create MX record in the forward lookup zone. Now the last one. Now the last one is SRV records, which is called service record, which resolves the name of the servers which provide the services. So this record is created. This record is created by default in forward lookup zone. So SRV records resolve the name of the servers which provide services. So this record is created by default in forward lookup zone. When we configure the DC. So this SRV records means service records will be created in forward lookup zones by default in the forward lookup zone when we configure the domain controller. Okay, so this is about your records. Now we have to do the practicals. So we have to configure about like 6 types of DNS server. Standard primary means master DNS server. Stub zone, standard secondary means backup DNS server. Stub zone means index active integrated primary zone for service record. Then conditional forwarder and forwarder. So these are the 6 practicals, 6 different types of DNS servers we have to create. So that if we start also we can't do, standard primary also we can't do. Because again, if I tell half, again I need to revise on Monday. So we are having gap also. So better we'll do the practical on Monday. Is it okay? So all the practicals, 6 practicals we have to do on Monday. First 2 practicals are big. After that 4 practicals are short. So total how many practicals we will be doing? 6 on Monday. So on that day, we will not have much theory, only practicals. So that's it for today. Is it fine? Because if I create now, half practical we can do standard primary. Again, half again we need to repeat on Monday. So you will get, you will not forget. So better you will do it on Monday. Okay. Okay. So that's it for today. Thank you, everyone. See you on Monday. So there will be no as it is Sunday. So we'll be meeting on. Okay. So you have not received the recording of yesterday's session. No one received. Thank you, Kapil. Same to you. Happy weekend to all of you. Nobody received the recordings of yesterday's session. Okay, I'll update to her. She will be there in the office. I'll update to her. Apart from that, any other question, any doubt? Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you, everyone. I'm closing the session. I'll update to her to send you. She might have forgotten. Okay, thank you.